What is up? What is up? What is up? Well, y'all already know what it is, man. It is your boy, Arthur Moats, and I got what we like to call Space Talk. So, introducing a new concept, and I see my peoples in the chat. Y'all say, yo, where my man Deke at? Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, my dog Deke is very much in the picture. The podcast is going nowhere. No. Relax your mind. Let your conscience be free. But this is something I've been wanting to do, start some of these one-on-ones, man. These little, chill shows where I'm actually able to get into a lot more of the comments. Also, have the phone lines dedicated to y'all as well. So that's why we're going to do the way we do it. But more importantly, when it is called the Space Talk, that means make sure you're getting your research on, baby, because I've definitely researched and I'm feeling immaculate on this amazing Friday afternoon, baby. So, hope everybody's still living good, feeling, like they're ready for the weekend to kick off the right way. But with these Space Talks, we'll start it off like we like to do. Oh, I see you, Gabriel, already on Mars. Shout out to you, baby. Yes, indeed. Let me know where y'all tuning in from, man. And I'll always give y'all that shout out to start it out. And then after that, man, we're going to talk a little bit about, a couple topics today. First off with the Steelers. In terms of who I think, are the top 5 players that have the most to prove this season. And we're definitely going to have y'all in the chat letting me know your thoughts on that as well. And then we also got to talk a little UFC 273, which is happening tomorrow because y'all know, big fight guy over here, baby. So let us know where you're tuning, or let me know where you're tuning in from. And we'll get that shout out rolling and get this show going, baby. Let's get it. But oh yeah, I like it. Rod Dollars, you already know what it is, baby. I see you in the building. Gabriel Vasquez, yes indeed, already on Mars like we talking about. Ali the Reaper. Better be on that Ravens pack. I'm on that weekend pack. I'm on that Friday pack. That's what I'm on. But Rod Dollar tuning in from the 330 Southside, Youngstown, Ohio. Russell Swartz, the 724 Hermitage, PA. Can't forget about Ali the Reaper, also tuning in from the 432. Gotta throw that out there. Robert Bennett, the 757 aka the Crib. You know I got big love for anybody showing up from the crib, baby. Yes, indeed. Oh, we got Todd Sikowski, says hola, from the Sonoran Desert, the 520. Might have to check that out, man. Okay. And let's see who else in here. Big M772 tuning in from the 252. Respect. And can't forget about Felicia Bellard. What up, Felicia? She say hey. I say hey. What it do? Tuning in from the 337. Lake Charles, Louisiana. I like it, baby. Let's see who else. We got Shaquille Gregory, the 724. Brownsville, PA. Yes, indeed. Nah, man, major respect. Now, when I start this thing out, man, first I want to talk about, like I said, the Steelers, right? Top 5 guys most to improve. Oh, okay. But with that being the case, though, make sure you give me some feedback in terms of who you think are the Steelers' top 5 guys with the most to prove this season. Now, I like to keep it with just players, but if y'all happen to have a coach, that works as well. Definitely works as well, man. But started off, I see a super coming in here. Corey Flores, what it do, baby? Says, yo, Moats, the 614, Columbus, Ohio. Man, I love Columbus, Ohio, baby. Got mad love up there, baby. Yes, indeed. Alrighty. But, like I said, man, starting this thing off the right way. Steelers with the most to prove. So for me, man, I had to start this out. I said, man, who would I think was the 5th most with something to prove? Well, I was personally thinking Deontay Johnson, right? Because with Deontay, what do we know about Deontay right now, man? My man definitely balled out last year, right? To a certain extent. We know he obviously had some drops issues at the end of the season. But as a whole, when you look at his cumulative body of work last year, it was impressive. But I also don't like to get caught up in the whole body of work. I want to look at it and think back on a week-to-week basis. And it was very different, right? We felt the up and down, the ebb and flow of his play. And at times even, where he was mentally. Where it was like, man, is he going to fall back into that, what we saw a year ago? Where he was getting taken off the field? Or if he was going to be able to, fight through those situations. And in a sense, he did last year. But it was still a small sample size. We're talking 1 year's worth of it. But at the same time, we know what the contract is looking like that he could potentially be getting anywhere between 15 to 20 mil, just based on the other guys that they've gotten contracts. Christian Kirk, obviously Stephon Diggs, who just got paid. We know Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams. So his market, it could fluctuate a little bit. But when I think of Deontay and why, he's the number 5 on this list, I say, man, this year is make or break for him in a sense. If he gets this contract ahead of time, well, now he has to prove that last year wasn't a fluke. He has to prove that, he can not just do what he did last year, but do it on a more consistent basis and ultimately be that leader out there, wide receiver, and the true wide receiver 1. But at the same time, if we don't give him that contract, well, now he's playing for what? That deal, the extension. He wants to prove that he's either worth what he's asking for or potentially more. But either way, he's going to have to be a lot more consistent this season. And I do think he's capable of it, but he just has to go out there and show it, And that's the thing when I think of Deontay, where I'm like, you know what? Yeah, it makes sense to have him at number 5. Definitely. All right. Now, the 4th person on my list, we're going right back to that wide receiver room, baby. Yes, we are. Hey, what you thought we weren't going to talk wide receiver? Come on, man. Chase Claypool. For me, when I think of Chase, man, the expectations were crazy high going into last season. Crazy high. And rightfully so. Because that rookie year, I wouldn't say he led all rookie receivers in touchdown catches. I mean, did better than Justin Jefferson, who we know has turned into an all-world receiver. But at the time, I mean, Chase was looking good. Chase was carving out a niche. And then it showed up last year where, we saw flashes of that. But as a whole, once again, the consistency just was not there. It was not what we needed. And that's why for me, when I think of Chase, I'm just like, who is he right now? Do we think he's going to turn into a wide receiver 1? Because, that is something that we want from him. He has the size, he has the speed, but we haven't seen the consistency there. Or do we think he's just a really good number 2 receiver? But however we look at it, we know what? Contract coming up for him next, right? Because this is going into year 3, and no different than how Deontay had his make or break year this past season is putting him in the conversation for a contract extension. Well, Chase is going to be in a similar vein. I mean, we've talked about Chase and Deontay as potentially, hey, man, what do you do with these guys? Do you trade them? Do you keep them? How do we handle this? But when I think of Chase, I'm like, man, I love the physical traits. Mentally, we know we have some questions about him, right? In terms of how mature is he? Can he handle success? Can he handle failure? Because we've really seen a mixed bag, as it pertains to chasing those avenues. But as a whole, though, I do think the upside is there. But with that being the case, we need to see it materialize. We need to see that consistency. And until we get that on a week in and week out basis, I think he's still going to fall into this category of guys that we just don't really want to commit to. Because right now, as well as he's played, I'm not willing to commit long-term money to him just yet because we haven't seen it happen consistently enough with him. But at the same time, if I had to pick between Chase and Deontay in terms of just athletic ability, I think it's Chase all day. But if I'm choosing right now who I want to, make my bet with in terms of the contract extension, I'm choosing Deontay because I think that he's been more consistent to this part. But either way, I think that, with Chase, he got to step it up a little bit more, man. But, that's why I have him at number 4 because the optimism is there. And it should be because his whole body of work last season as well showed what? He was all right. He balled out in a sense, but it was inconsistent as well, right? Not just on the field, but with the maturity stuff. We know the Vikings game. We know how he handles social media. We know he doesn't always make the best decisions, but he's also been young. So I kind of give him a little bit of a pass in a sense. But he's going to have to step it up, man, because this is a big year for him, man. All right, so getting ready to do my number 3, but I do see we got a couple of supers popping in this thing. So I'm going to pause at number 3 right now. Let me get to these supers, check the chat out, and then I'm going to get right back into this thing, all right? And then when I finish my top 5, that's when we're going to have this phone line open, all right? Now, before I get to that, I'm going to put it in the poll because, it's the first time we doing it. And I want to know, do we leave the phone lines just for the upper room like we do on the podcast? Or since this is the space talking, we've been researching. I've definitely been researching. If this is one of those where we just put the phone out there for anybody that wants to call right now, and then we get it popping that way. So in the sake of putting the poll up, because y'all know I like to put the poll up, I'm going to put it up real quick, all right? So, let's see. Phone lines for everyone or just the upper room? And I'll let y'all be the deciders. Okay. Everyone? Okay. Hopefully I spelled that right, you know what I mean? Because it's different like that, you know? It's what we do on a Friday. I'm kicking it back. I'm chilling, man. Got my nice chill shoes on today too, man. So, you know, I can't complain. But let's see what the chat talking about real quick. All right, so we got Moises. Oh, you know, I remember you, Moises Sambrano. What did it do? Says, what are your thoughts about Mitchell Trubisky, or Mitchell T? Yeah, Mitchell T to Steelers, pros and cons. I'm assuming you're talking about Trubisky, so I'm going to get to that in a second, all right? I'm going to get you. I got you on that. We can pause it for a little bit. I got you. And then we also have Black and Morty. He says, guess it's time to get the wax out and head to Mars. Yes, indeed, baby. Yes, indeed. And shout out to the wax, man. I peep you. Yes, indeed. All right. And then we see we got Russell Swartz. He says, Moats, do you think that Ben not having the arm strength he used? Hold on, let me pull this up all the way real quick. I don't want to misread your super. He says, Moats, do you think that Ben not having the arm strength he used to have hurt on wide receivers more by not being able to go deep as much? Man, Russell, you bring up a great, point right there. I definitely think that played a role in the receiver struggling in a sense, because with both, especially with Chase, we know he's more of a downfield guy. And on these downfield throws, ball placement and arm strength matters. And at times we saw Ben either overthrowing or underthrowing. And then on the ones that were good, it was 50-50 with Chase. So it was a mixed bag with that. But without a doubt, you need that quarterback to have that consistent arm strength. And when you see it like it was the first year for Chase, we saw how he looked out there. He was very successful in the downfield plays and stuff like that. Even Deontay, you think about that Packers game, right? How that started out. Ben connecting with him on a deep shot. There was a couple of times we saw Ben and Deontay connect on deep throws. When it's there and it's hitting, without a doubt, it works out perfectly, and these receivers shine under that. But that was an issue that they had to deal with last year. But when I think of these receivers, I also think of the short to intermediate stuff in the sense of creating more separation, the route running element of it. Because we can't just always put it on the quarterback. Yes, the quarterback has to, put that ball where it needs to be and do it consistently. But at the same time, these receivers had to get more separation, and they were struggling with that at times last year. And if they weren't struggling with the separation, then it was just the inconsistency of, are they catching this, or, is it going to be a bobble, a drop, whatever it's going to look like. So those are some of the issues that, I personally felt, impacted or plagued this receiver room. But yes, the quarterback's arm strength without a doubt played a role in this thing, man. And shout out to you, Derek Nelson, man, just showing a little love. I definitely appreciate you as well, baby. Yes, indeed. Alrighty. Go through the regular real quick and see. Okay. Hey, I see y'all still putting in your top fives. Okay, for the people with the most to prove. All right, the Steelers with the most to prove this season coming up. And Moises, I have not forgot about you. I just don't want to jump the gun real quick, but I got you, baby. I got you. Okay, but the third guy on my list with the most to prove this year for the Pittsburgh Steelers, Devin Bush, Mr. 5'5", and for a couple of reasons, right? With Devin, what do we know? Well, first off, we have the expectations. He was, 10th overall selection for a reason. We traded up to get him. So the expectations were extremely high. We knew he was drafted to replace who? Ryan Shazier. You don't just come in here and replace Ryan Shazier. We know the expectations that were going to be associated with that. And at times, his rookie year, he flashed. At times, he made us feel like, this could be that guy. He could be the potential replacement to Ryan. But as a whole, it was still a mixed bag that rookie year. Then obviously a second year, he gets the ACL injury pretty much early in the season. And then we get this past year where it was a mixed bag, right? Whether, we wanted to say it was because of the injury, because of his coach's wife passing away, because the D-line in front of him. We had a lot of reasons to justify or to make excuses for his lack in productivity. But at the end of the day, the result was him not living up to the expectations and not even being consistent enough to be our solidified LB1. And with Devin, we know he has the potential. We know that he has the athletic ability, the speed. We know that he can do these things. Even last year, as up and down of a season as it was for him, he had moments where, I thought he played well. But at the same time, it was just too far in between for that. And that was ultimately why none of us left out of there, that last season feeling like, we're confident in Devin Bush. I mean, that's the reason, we even talked about, hey, do you keep him? Do you trade him? You picking up the fifth-year options? All of these questions have popped up because of his inconsistency. And not just on the field, but even off the field. I mean, we know that, it's been certain things in terms of how he addresses the media, how he handles just situations where it would be viewed as negative. Vikings game, right? Buddy Johnson taking snaps for him. His response is, this is a good situation, man. Let the young guy get reps. No. This is not a good situation. You don't want the young guy to get reps, especially during the regular season, but that's something that he has to understand. That's something that he has to get a little bit more serious with. And like I said, that goes back on the maturity element of it. Understanding that this isn't college. Even though you can be friends with your teammates, you're still competing for a check. This is a job. And I just think for him, man, that's something that he's going to have to really understand and get locked in on going forward. But we only feel like that because we feel like he can do it. If we didn't think that he was good enough, if I didn't think that he was good enough to play at a high level and solidify himself as LB1, he would not be on this list. I would not be talking about him. And I don't think any of us would be, feeling how we feel about him at times. But with Devin, I mean, this is a big year for him, is it not? They're still deciding on if they're going to pick up the fifth-year option, the Steelers. But even if they don't, he still has to decide which version he's going to be. Is he going to turn into Bud Dupree, or is he going to be Artie Burns and Jarvis Jones? Difference between all three of those guys in the sense of they all had various levels of success or the lack thereof early in their careers. But only one of them, when it was contract time or contract year time, only one of those guys really stepped up and made themselves money, solidified themselves, and that was Bud Dupree. We saw what he did to earn himself the franchise tag, and then even on the franchise tag, what he was able to do prior to, him going to Tennessee. But the alternative is Artie Burns, Jarvis Jones. Those guys were good at times. They had their moments, but the consistency was never there. They never lived up to that draft billing. And ultimately, we've seen how one guy is out the league and the other guy is trying his best to, make a career out of this thing, but he's really become a little bit of a journeyman in a sense. So with both of those guys, or all three of those guys, Devin can go either direction right now. I'm hoping that he turns into Bud Dupree in the sense of, this year he goes out there, does what he needs to do, and then the Steelers either say, we'll tag you or we'll extend you. But he has to produce first. He has to play at a higher level. I mean, it can't get back to the point where he's rotating with a Robert Spillane or a Buddy Johnson. He needs to show that he is that guy. I'm hoping he could do it. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about that as well. All right, let me give me a little sip too, baby. And no, this is just water. I don't drink on the job. Okay, no drinking on the job. Just research on the job. Oh yeah. All right. Excuse me. Now the second guy, the number 2 guy on my most approved list. Most approved. Chooks Okorafor. I mean, prior to this season, he would have not been on this list. Prior to the contract extension, he would not be on this list. But when you get the deal that he got, where you're going to be paid roughly $10 million per year, I think that's the 8th highest right tackle, 8th highest contract for right tackles in the NFL this season. That's a lot. The expectations drastically increase. We're no longer looking at Chooks and saying, hey, man, you're not terrible. You're not killing us. You're good, but you're not great. We're not looking at him like that anymore. We're not looking at him and saying that, hey, well, you don't have to be the best old lineman. No, he all right. He can just fit in there somewhere. No, with this type of money, the expectations increase. We talk about it, right? When you're paying a guy 10 or 9.75 per year, well, you have to start looking around and saying, well, if he was getting paid $5 million, well, what other player or players could we have in here ultimately having a positive impact on this team? That's the conversation that he's going to have to deal with right now. Prior to that, his only pressure was Zach Banner going to beat him out? Or when Zach came back from injury, if he was going to play bad enough that Zach would take his spot. Those things never happened. And for Chooks, that is a certain level of pressure, but this type of pressure is going to be very different. Very, very different. And that's the part for me where I'm interested to see how he handles that. How do you handle being the paid guy in the room? How do you handle these expectations? Where now we're not just asking you to, be a good pass blocker and just make do in the run game. No, we want you to be our guy. We want you to be one of the leaders on this offensive line, one of our guys that we can trust. We're going to see how that turns out for him. But this contract changes a lot in terms of how we view Chooks solely because of the money associated with him, man. That's the biggest reason why I feel like he's the number 2 guy with the most to prove, man. But we're going to see. We are definitely going to see. All right. And now it's time for that number 1 guy. Who could it be? Who could it be? It's the quarterback, ladies and gentlemen. The quarterback, Mitch Trubisky. I mean, and why not? Because obviously, Moises, we're going to talk about the pros and cons to Mitch Trubisky, and that's why I didn't want to jump on that too early. But with Mitch, the reason he's up here is because of the expectations. We do this as fans. We do this as media. When a guy joins the team, we talk him up. We talk him up, and we at sometimes, forget what we've seen in the past, and we more so get so excited about the potential that we set this bar extremely high. And I do feel like Mitch is falling into that category. But at the same time, when you think about Mitch as a whole, he's had good moments without a doubt. I mean, he had some time in Chicago where he led them to the postseason. He's a missed field goal away from having a win in the postseason. He has a Pro Bowl under his belt. We know we laugh at the Pro Bowl at times because of how he acquired it, but he still has that. But at the same time, we also know what we saw in terms of his limitations, in terms of when the pieces around him aren't clicking. He hasn't really proven to be a force multiplier. And I understand the excitement around him being in Buffalo, but what was the sample size in Buffalo? We're talking, a couple of preseason games and some garbage time, during the regular season, and that has changed our whole outlook on him solely because he was in a room with Josh Allen and coached by Brian Daboll. Well, I like that mindset, but at the same time, I also think about, no offense, but my dog Landry Jones. He was here with Todd Haley and Ben Roethlisberger. I mean, we think about that combo during that time frame, how successful it was, but that didn't make Landry a better player. It didn't make Landry a better quarterback. We saw when he had his opportunities, and even when he left Pittsburgh, how he never really, materialized or got into that consistency of proving that he's a true QB1 at the NFL level. To me, I think of Mitch in a slightly similar vein when we hear this narrative of, well, I'm coming from Buffalo. That's got to be the reason why he's going to be so much better now. So I'm just a little bit more skeptical about that. But at the same time, I do think it's a lot of pressure on him because of that. And you add the elephant in the room of, he is replacing the Hall of Famer, Ben Roethlisberger. We know his expectations, big time shoes to fill. Can he do it? I don't think he's close to filling Ben's shoes in all reality, but can he be a better version of what we saw last year from 7? And that to me is where Mitch is really going to have to be locked in and prove that he can be that guy. We're going to see though. We're definitely going to see. But if you're just talking about Mitch, the player without the expectations, I don't think we view him like that. I think that it's the same energy of Dwayne Haskins when we picked him up. You're excited because of the pedigree, but you want to see it, be more consistent. You want to see the productivity be there a lot more and at times a lot higher. But because of the expectation that we put on him, he's, viewed above those two guys in terms of Mason and Haskins, when in all actuality, he's very similar to those guys. But that's what we're going to find out, man, if he can live up to that. I hope he can. I hope y'all all right. I hope the people that love Mitch are right, because that means that we all get to enjoy some, high-flying offense. We're going to enjoy some, lot of wins in the regular season and hopefully more postseason wins. But I just don't feel as confident in that. And I'm still a little, when I think of the Steelers and all this pre-draft visits, let's see, they've had Desmond Ridder in there. I know Sam Howell's in there currently. We know the Malik Willis love fest they have going on. I just don't know how much they believe in him. I don't. But we shall see, man. We shall definitely see. But that's my top 5 guys that I think the top 5 Steelers that I think have the most to prove going into this next season. Deontay Johnson at 5, Chase Claypool at 4. Devin Bush at 3, Chooks Okorafor at 2, and Mitch Trubisky at 1. So, let's see what the people got to say in the chat in terms of how you guys ordered it up. And I'm also going to look at the poll. Oh, okay, we there, baby. Y'all said everyone for the phone lines. That makes it simple, baby. So we will definitely do that, all right? So, first let me read off a couple of these. And then after that, man, I'm going to drop the phone line. And we'll start a little, hit me up, get it off your chest, all right? But, let's see. Keegan Short says Deontay Johnson at 5. He goes Matt Canada as his number 4 player, or number 4 person that has a lot to prove. I do agree with you on that. Matt Canada, man, definitely got to step it up, right? Show that he can be a successful offensive coordinator in the league. We shall see. We shall see. He has Devin Bush at 3. He went with Kendrick Green at 2. I like that, man. I like that a lot. Now, when I think of Kendrick, the only reason why I don't have him on my top 5 is because I haven't really seen him play at a level where I think he can do this. Right now, we're trying to figure out, is he going to stay at center or does he go to guard? We know Mason Cole had an interview where he said he wants to play center. It's like, man, if we choose between Mason Cole and Kendrick Green for the center spot, give me Mason Cole right now. So that's my thing with Kendrick. I just don't know where he's going to fit in this equation. If you're talking about him at guard, what does that look like? Do I think he can beat out somebody at center, though, right now? Not really, but we shall see. And his number 1 person is Mitch Trubisky, so I definitely see where it's simpatico right there. Ali the Reaper. He says Chase Claypool at number 5. He goes James Pierre at 4. I like that. That's the forgotten soul right there, right? Pierre Island. I haven't forgot about the island, boy. Haven't forgot. We believe in you, Pierre, because you're fundamentally sound. He is. Can he step it up, though, and be more consistent, especially against the deep ball? Only time will tell. But he has Justin Lane at number 3. He's another one. Forgot all about Justin Lane, man. Jeez. Yeah, he definitely has put up a shut-up time for him without a doubt. Then from Justin Lane, he goes Deontay Johnson at 2. Devin Bush at number 1. Okay. All right, and then Robert Bennett. Shout out to you, Robert Bennett. Has Chase Claypool at number 5. Dan Moore at 4. Okay. Forgetting all about the left tackle, right? Now, he did play well at times, but he wasn't consistent at times. We liked his heart. It was kind of like you watching that person fight. It reminded me of Friday. The first time, when Debo and Craig got the fight and Debo chokes me. It's like, come on, fight. Just fight back. It's like, man, as long as he ain't take it, we were kind of happy with him. But this is year 2. It's going to be a little bit different. He can't just get by on effort. He's going to have to get by on actually blocking guys and being more consistent and just giving the quarterback, Mitch Trubisky or whoever it is, a lot more time in the pocket. But I do like that right there. But damn, more. Shout out to you for that. Robert Bennett also says Cam Sutton at number 3. Yeah, he's going to have his role again, man. If he's going to stay on the outside, competing with guys like Levi Wallace and Akella Weatherspoon, or does he bump into that slot where he's, to me, more suited for where I think he can really thrive? He's definitely has a lot to prove in that sense. And we know, he's still, because he's on a 2-year deal, if I remember correctly. So he's going to be trying to get an extension. Yeah, definitely want to do that then. Then he has Pat Freiermuth at 2, a.k.a. Muth. Yeah. But I think with Pat, he has more to prove in the sense of not just, increasing the productivity that you had last year, but taking that next step to being the bona fide tight end that we think he could be. When we talk about the elite tight ends, the, matchup nightmares, we think that he has that potential. We think that he can be one of those guys, but he's going to have to show it. Now, we know that the quarterback situation could hurt him in a sense, but at the same time, I do think that he's going to be able to create a good amount of separation, which would ultimately help the quarterbacks because you want to increase that throwing window. The throwing window big for that guy, man. Pat should be well. Pat should do well, and these quarterbacks should be able to get him the ball. But we're going to see, man, because I'm definitely high on Pat. Y'all know, I was a Pat guy even last year. I was super hyped when we took him in the second round, man. So I definitely like what you're putting down right there. And then if Robert Bennett says at number 1, Chooks Okorafor, baby. The contract, man, speaks volumes. We're going to see. We are going to see what he does with that thing, man. All right. Got a couple of supers we're going to get to, and then after that, I'm going to hit these phone lines, all right? And then after that, we're going to talk a little, little UF sizzle. All right, but we got Loso Scotty. He says, what has Mason done that is equivalent to Mitch? Okay, well, to me, what I think Mason has done is, I think he's handled adversity well. I think last year when he came in that Lions game, he played well. He wasn't perfect. I know everybody will bring up the Ray McLeod missed throw, but I'll point to all the other throws that he did make, especially down the stretch. Talk about those to Deontay, throws to Pat Freiermuth in crunch time. I like that. To me, even though the sample size is small, it still showed a little bit of a clutch gene. I think back a year prior to that, last game of the regular season against the Cleveland Browns. Cleveland's playing to get into the postseason. We saw what Mason did there. Lit him up, throwing the deep ball. James Washington, Chase Claypool. He looked extremely good and confident there. I'll even take you one step further, back to that year where he got benched for Duck Hodges. But he came back in that Jets game. Did what? Played well, had a nice throw before he got hurt. So to me, when I think of Mason versus Mitch, I just think of the trajectory, right? With Mitch, started out really good, and it started to go the other way. Then he had this super small sample size in Buffalo, and now he's talked about like he's the number 2 overall pick again. It's a little different. When I think of Mason, kind of rough go at it at the beginning of the year, but now he's put together a couple of good performances. At the end of the day, they're both very improving. They both have nice arms. They both are accurate. I think Mitch is obviously more athletic than Mason, but I don't think that Mitch is just this surefire, bona fide arm talent and way better prototypical guy. I don't think of that. I don't think of Mitch in that vein. So that's why, to me, I think they're very much the same in the sense of they're not proven. Neither one of these guys have proven that they can go in there and be force multipliers, truly be QB1s. So that's why I say they're equivalent in that same. And I put Dwayne Haskins in that same boat. But Moises Sambrano spins the block on me as well. And he says, I'm good with Mitch Trubisky, or Mitchell Trubisky. Make sure I pronounce the full name. Put some respect on it. He says, I thought that we could get Aaron Rodgers, Jimmy G, Blake Bortles, who obviously just was released still. He's a free agent right now. Derek Carr, Deshaun Watson, and Baker Mayfield. Well, yeah. We did have kind of all those options on the table for varying reasons why we didn't take them, right? Aaron Rodgers, we know he was going to cost a lot. We knew he was disgruntled, but at the same time, how much did you want to pay him? He's aging and things like that. Jimmy G, his market cooled immensely once he had the shoulder surgery. Great play by him, though, because it forced the 49ers to eat that and say, you know, we can't do anything with them right now, but we're not going to cut him. Smart move by Jimmy G. Blake Bortles, he's interesting, but he wasn't available until recently. He just got released a couple of days ago, so he wasn't necessarily in the conversation in that same vein. Derek Carr, we were going to have to make a move for, so it's depending on what you were willing to give up. Deshaun Watson, yes, you know, I wanted him badly, but that changed drastically when Cleveland decided to pay him what they paid him. I didn't mind giving up the draft picks for Deshaun, especially once he was cleared. But my issue was when you're talking about guaranteeing a contract to that extent, that's tough to do. It's tough. And Cleveland, I felt like, was forced to do that because of how they handled or mishandled the Baker Mayfield situation. And then obviously Baker Mayfield. I don't want to trade for Baker. I don't want to give up an asset for Baker. But if Baker is released, I'm all for that. I think you bring him in here and it can get a little dicey. You know, he's going to be extra motivated wanting to beat out Mitch Trubisky. But more importantly, he's going to want to play the Cleveland Browns twice a year. So I do like that part for Baker. But as a whole, if we're talking about having to give up assets for Baker, I am cool. Keep that over there. All right. And then, let's see. The last one is from Let's Go UW. And he says, let me get the thing. There we go. He says, maybe an honorable mention in terms of his top 5 steals with the most to prove this season. He would say Alex Highsmith has more to prove in terms of more explosive plays. Now, I do agree with you there because to me, Alex has proven that he is a Robin. He's proven that he could be a really good running mate for TJ Watt. We've seen his productivity increase from year 1 to year 2, not just as a pass rusher, but also as a run stopper. I mean, the tackle for losses, the way he sets the edge, the physicality he plays with, I like that a lot. But right now, you know, if we're talking about a contract extension for him, I don't want to pay him more than $5-6 million a year. But if you're Alex Highsmith right now, you can set yourself up to be a double-digit type of guy. You go out here and put together another season where you get 6.5, 7 sacks, or don't get 10. You get 10? Well, now we're really thinking about paying you. And regardless if that's getting paid here in Pittsburgh or elsewhere, I think that Alex can put himself in that conversation because we've seen how consistent he is and his availability as well, right? He doesn't miss a lot of time. And when he's out there, he plays extremely hard. So I definitely like the honorable mention element from Let's Go UW, bringing up my man Alex Highsmith right there. So yes, I definitely like that. All right. But I think it's time that we hit these phone lines. All right. So let me make sure I do this thing the right way. Let me plug this in here. Bing bang, ha ha ha. It's kind of like that first time you ride on your bike with no training wheels and your parents aren't outside anymore. Yeah, that's what I'm on right now. Usually I got my man Deke over here. He pushing the buttons for me, keeping me copacetic. But today we got to rock out a little bit differently. So it is all good. But in terms of the phone lines, if y'all are ready, I shall drop that number. Okay? So without further ado, here we go. The number is 412-346-6955. All right? Once again, 412-346-6955. Go ahead, call it up, man. Let's chat a little bit about who we think are the Steelers with the most to prove. All right. Now, I like what I'm seeing in the chat, too, right now, man. Let's see what we got over here. You saying Highsmith is overrated? No way Alex Highsmith is overrated. I just don't see that, man. I don't see it. But, hey, hit me on the line, man. Let's see what we got, man. Once again, that phone number is 412-346-6955. Uh-oh. Oh, we got a call coming in. Okay. Make sure I got this thing set up the right way. Y'all know I got my business hours, all right? You can't be calling me outside of business hours. So, now that I got that square. All right, now we good. Oh, okay. I guess I'm going to call this number back. See who it is on the hotline. See who it is hitting me up on the hip. Hello.
Please leave your message for 5.
Oh, no. They ain't answering it. All right, let's try this again right here. I see my man. There we go. He said, I'm sipping on that yak. I wish. All right. Oh, here we go. Hello. Who we got? Who we have here?
Big Babiak.
Oh, who's on the phone with me, baby? Talk to me, man. How we feeling today?
I'm feeling great, man. How are you doing?
Man, I can't complain. Enjoying this beautiful Friday afternoon, man. But talk to me, man. In terms of Steelers with the most to prove this year, man. How you feeling about that?
I actually feel really good about the Mitch Trubisky signing. I think it's a guy that I advocated for, and if you go back to your channel months ago, I actually think he's a guy who never got a fair shot with Chicago, given the weapons that were surrounded him.
Yeah.
I mean, what did he have? Allen Robinson for a year?
Yeah.
Maybe 2?
I say tops. We know the tight end situation was a little rough for him as well. Because I want to say Jimmy Graham was still there for a little bit, but it was still inconsistent with him in terms of his availability. So, yeah.
He had an aging Jimmy Graham. The one thing he had consistently, which was a strong running game.
Very true.
What are we going to be able to provide this year? A strong running game. We
Absolutely
improved our offensive line. We got a young stud in Najee. Actually, a guy I think we should advocate for is Jerick McKinnon to be our third down back.
Now, for those who don't remember, Jerick, that was the guy in Kansas City. Yes, he looked really good down the stretch for those guys. I definitely like that concept. I like that thought process.
He's a guy who burned us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or another guy, if he's healthy, would be Tariq Cohen, another guy who's familiar with Mitch Trubisky.
Very true. You
so
can
he would have to be healthy.
Bears coming to us. If I say all the Chicago Bears coming to us, if that's the case.
He would have to be healthy to consider him, though.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. But no, I like that thought process.
But I think McKinnon's a guy we can get cheap.
Yeah.
I think McKinnon's a guy we can get cheap and can fill in multiple roles because he's a return guy, too. And that can take a little pressure off there. Yeah, I'll tell you this, though. I do not want Pittsburgh to pay Deontay Johnson.
Oh.
Not yet.
No? Okay.
No, I love Deontay. I do.
Yeah.
I think he's great. I think he's ascending, but I think he's got a lot to prove. And I don't know if cold weather is his best friend because he drops more balls in colder weather than he does catch them.
No, you bring up a good point there.
And honestly, I don't think Deontay is going to be the go-to guy for Mitch. I really don't. I actually think it's going to be Claypool. Okay. I think he's going to rely on a bigger body. I think it's going to be Pat and Claypool that really thrive with Mitch rather than Deontay. Because if you look at Allen Robinson's not a small frame receiver like Deontay.
No, very true.
The other, I mean, that's my thinking. I'm thinking Claypool's going to take a big step forward this year.
No, I like that, man. I definitely like that. Hey, well, I appreciate you tuning in, man, as well, man. Giving me a little bit of your feedback right there. And as always, baby, I'll holler at you on the flip side. But no, man, that we brought up some good points right there, man. Without a doubt. I mean, when you think about Trubisky's time in Chicago, it was definitely, up and down, but the weapons around him weren't what they needed to be. They weren't as consistent. I just hope that we're not saying the same things about, this situation in Pittsburgh because, yes, on paper, he does have weapons at the receiver spot, but they have been inconsistent as well. So that, to me, is going to be the deciding factor in a sense, man. We're going to find out, man. We're definitely going to find out. But the phone line is back open, man. Phone line is open. Hit us up. Let me know what you're thinking on, man. Talk to me here to 412-346-6955. Oh, here we go. Hello. Talk to me, baby.
Hey, Moats, it's Joseph out from the Bay Area, Concord, California.
Yes, indeed, man. How we doing out there on the west side today?
Man, I'm doing great. Just loading up my spaceship, getting ready to take off.
Hey, that's what I love to hear, baby. Yes, indeed. But how you feeling, man? Who do you feel are the Steelers with the most to prove this season, man?
The most to prove?
Yeah.
You want me to give you 5 or my top 2?
Give me your top 2. Let's hear it.
I'm gonna roll with 2 of them that you got. Deontay Johnson, for sure, has a lot to prove. Mm-hmm. He's asking for all this money. We're thinking about paying him. We're thinking about it. We're probably not going to give it to him, but we're thinking about it. So he's got to come out and he's got to do something.
Oh, very true. Absolutely.
He's got to really show us. He's got to really show us he's that guy. He wants to get that cash. He wants to stay a Steeler. He's got to show us he's that guy. Mm-hmm. And the other guy is the man we just brought in, Money Mitch. Oh. You can't get beat out by Mason. You can't get beat out by Mason. You can't get beat out by Haskins.
Is Money Mitch his official? That's what we're going with for him now. He's Money Mitch. Ooh, I like it.
Money Mitch needs to come in and get that money.
Let's go.
Money Mitch needs to come in and get that money. Sorry about that. We got construction in the background.
Oh, man, you good, man? We ain't tripping, player. No, I like those 2 right there, man. I definitely like those 2, man. Hey, and you don't work too hard out there on the west side either, baby, all right? But, man, Money Mitch.
Oh, man, I'm not working. It's my neighbors, man. They're making my dogs go crazy out here.
Hey, man, you got to tell your neighbors, man, chill out. It's Friday. You got to say, hey, man, do all that construction on your own time, a different day. Not today, though, baby, all right?
Come get on this spaceship vibe with me, y'all. Come on.
Hey, let's go, man. That's what I'm trying to tell the people, man. Fridays are for blasting off, man. All right?
Have a good one, Moats.
Hey, you too, baby.
Have a good one, Moats.
All right, bye.
Peace out.
Yo, I like that right there, ladies and gentlemen. I like that. We're going to take one more call. Then after that, I'll go to this final topic, man, this UFC talk. But y'all, if you got the number, I'll throw it in there again, though. If you don't, the 412-346-6955. And here we go. What's up, baby? Who I'm talking to?
Moats, what up?
What's
Barilla
up, man?
92.
Oh, the homie Barilla 92. How we living today, man? What's the word with you?
I just clocked out. I'm on my way home.
Let's go, man. Nothing like that, man. Clocking out on the way home. Hopefully you get yourself some research when you get to the casa. But before you do all that, since you are driving, we'd like you to be safe while y'all here on the road. Talk to me a little bit, man. Who do you feel like, is the Steeler or Steelers with the most to prove this season?
Most to prove? Let me go 2 offense, 2 defense.
Okay, let's do it.
Defense, Devin Bush.
5-5.
I mean, we traded up top 10 to get him.
Mm-hmm.
He had a rough season last season, but maybe he's fully healthy now. He's got got his mind right, he can take that jump.
Nah, I definitely agree with you on that, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Ooh, to it.
And to it if he comes back.
Yeah.
If we still don't know.
No, very true. Now, what are your thoughts too, man? I've seen people, when they bring up to it, saying, would you consider releasing him? What are your thoughts on that, man? Do you err on the side of, man, we know how talented he is and he's young? Or do you say, man, after last season, I just don't know if I can count on him going forward based on what he's going to make as well, and just cut ties with him, man? What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a fair point. I mean, last season was the first season he played almost the full season.
Yeah, very true.
The last season he played, and then, he has a knee injury. Big men with knee injuries. I don't know.
Concerning. I pick up what you put down right there. So those are your two defensive guys. Who you got? The other two?
Then another thing about Tua, we haven't even seen him. I mean, he could look like Bounty right now for all we know.
Oh Lord. He could either be too small, or he could do the other thing, come back looking like Big Dan McCullers. You don't want it to be like that either, man. So it's a slippery slope with this thing. I feel you.
Either way.
Yeah, I definitely feel you on that, man.
And then offense, I'm gonna have to say probably Chuk, see if he lives up to that contract.
Yeah, hefty money for him now.
That was big money.
Yeah, a lot of big money, man.
Big money.
Yeah. Definitely agree with you on the Chuks, man.
Then Claypool.
Ooh, yes. Now, for you, why does Claypool? What do you think he has to prove this year, man? Just from your perspective.
I mean, his rookie year, he came in, he started lighting it up. I think, I'm glad Deke's not here, but quarterback played into it last week.
You funny, but at least I'm glad Deke's not here. Quarterback, man. Quarterback hurt that man.
And he call me a fake fan when he comes back.
All right, I know, right? Oh, man.
But hopefully they get the offense scheme better, and a little bit of accuracy with the quarterback will help out his numbers. But I think towards the end of the season he cut off like all the antics for the most part.
Yeah.
So looking for him to make a good jump.
Yeah. If we can get a mature Chase Claypool without the antics, I agree with you 100%. I think that the sky could be the limit for him just based on everything that we've seen and the things that you just said as well, man. So it's gonna be interesting to see how that thing plays out, man. No, without a doubt, he definitely does, man. He definitely does. But my man, Barilla, how much further you got to go on your drive home, man? You almost there, what?
I got a couple minutes. I'm good.
All right. That's what I like to hear, baby. Well, hey, I always appreciate you hitting me up, man, all right?
I appreciate you. Have a good one.
Hey, you too. Peace. I like it. Man, you know what? I'm having a little bit of fun, man. Let's take another call while we at it, man. I'm gonna get to the UFC, but I just kind of like hearing from y'all. It's not often now I get to take all these calls, have a little bit of fun. Oh, all right, here we go. Talk to me, baby. Talk to me. Who I'm on the phone with?
Yo, Moats, what up, man? This is Victory Asher from West Palm Beach, Florida.
Let's go, Victory Asher in the building, man. I know you are enjoying that beautiful weather down in Florida. I hope it's beautiful right now. It usually is.
Oh, yeah, right on my balcony watching the yachts go by.
Let's go. Live it up. Man, but talk to me, man. Steelers with the most to prove this season, man. Who you got for me?
I got two also.
Okay.
Both two on offense, two on defense.
Let's
start with the defense. Akilo Witherspoon.
Okay.
I think he has a lot to prove because he's going to be filling some big shoes.
Yes.
If my boy Joe Hayden do not return.
I know. Jump man. That's my dog. Love Joe Hayden, man. But you're right, man. Akello's definitely has some big shoes to fill, man. We know the contract wasn't crazy substantial, but at the same time, the expectations are that he is going to turn into cornerback number one, or at least be a more consistent guy throughout this season. We know how the end of the year went for him, but the beginning of the year was a little bit rocky. So yeah, we're definitely gonna have high expectations for him, man. I like how you're starting this thing out, baby. Who you got next?
And I'm with the last caller. I'm gonna go with Stephon Tuitt. He has a lot to prove. Because, and I'll look at this from a sentimental value point.
Yeah.
The Steelers, the whole year, have done nothing but, the past year and a half or so, just invested in his emotional well-being.
No, very true. Very
So
true.
if he's going to return, he's going to have to step up to the plate.
Yeah.
Because there's not too many teams like the Pittsburgh Steelers. There is no team in the NFL like the Pittsburgh Steelers. You really are a family.
No, I definitely would agree with
so
that. So
I said if there's another team that's close, it will have to be the Raiders. But other than that, it definitely has to be Stephon Tuitt on defense.
Now, without a doubt, man, the expectations are high for him because the last time he was out there, he was playing at a Pro Bowl caliber pace, double-digit sacks, put his most complete season together, and that's why we were so high on him coming into this next season or this last season. But unfortunately, we know the circumstances surrounding him and some of the circumstances that we don't know surrounding him, but ultimately he wasn't able to come out there. And yeah, right now, it's one of those things where the business side becomes a little bit more prevalent than just the family connection and the emotional connection that the team has in Stephon Tuitt. So it's definitely gonna be interesting to see how that thing plays out, man. But I appreciate you hitting me up, Victor Asher, while you're down there in Florida. So enjoy yourself, baby. Enjoy yourself.
Oh yes, sir. I got two more, by the way.
Oh yeah,
I'm looking at one in the chat.
Yeah, keep it going.
On offense, it definitely has to be senior year. I'm not senior year, but sophomore year. Pat Fryer move. Pat Fryer move. He's going to have to step up this year because people are going to be dialing him up.
Yeah, without a doubt.
After what he did this past year, they're going to be after him. So let's hope he don't get into that sophomore slump.
Yeah. Yeah, that's something we don't really talk about, right? Most time we always look at it from an optimistic standpoint, right? Oh, yeah, we're going to take that sophomore leap. We always just book it as he's going to be great. But, yeah, that is something to consider. I mean, a lot of guys do fall into that sophomore slump, especially when the expectations are so high. Chase Claypool is a guy that we kind of view and say, man, was it a sophomore slump? How do we feel about that? I mean, some people will say yes, some people might not, but that is something that is very much real. So I like you brought that up about Pat, though, man. I definitely do. And who's your final guy, man? Who you have?
Okay. My final guy, to be honest with you, is 3-1. The three quarterbacks.
Okay.
The three QBs. I want it to be a fair fight for the QB1 spot.
Yeah.
So because I think what we have now, I think to me, all of them, well, not so much Mason. We saw what he can do, but pretty much Haskins and Trubisky. I think they're both former number ones. Yeah. And Haskins has a really strong arm. Trubisky has more playing experience than Haskins does.
Yeah.
And I just think that should be a good battle.
No, it definitely should.
That should be a good battle.
I hope it plays out like you're saying in the sense of all three of those guys getting a fair fight. Especially if two of these guys were first-round draft picks, the other guy had the first-round grade. Yeah, I want it to be a fair fight as well. But I'm going to turn this back to you, though, man. If it is a fair fight, who is your money on? Dwayne Haskins, Mason Rudolph, or Money Mitch Trubisky?
To be honest with you, my money's on Dwayne Haskins.
Let's go.
My money's on him. He's the dark horse. No one's even talking about right now.
Yeah.
And I think he's staying out of the media and on purpose, because he's going to be the dark horse one to come through. Yeah. But my biggest question is, if he is the one who shows up the best during training camp, will the rest of the Steelers organization and fans accept him as being QB1? Will you accept him being the best QB? Coming out of that bunch?
You definitely bring up a good point. I'm going to accept him because I'm a Haskins. I like Haskins a lot. But you're right, man. That is something that, he's going to have to address. But at the same time, I do think that if he comes out and he plays at a high enough level and he's winning consistently, I think the people will get on board. Because why not? We all want to win here in Pittsburgh. Or at least that's what we say. So if Haskins does give us wins and he is that person giving us that, then without a doubt, I think that he's definitely going to be, I think he'll be accepted by Steeler Nation as a whole, man. Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, thanks a lot for your phone call. Thanks a lot for your time. Let me talk on your phone for the first time. This is the first time I've been on your show live.
I know, man.
I appreciate your time.
It was good to hear from you, man. We got to do this again, all right?
Okay, bro.
My man. All right. Now, I like that, man. I like that. Yeah, I just realized too on the clock. I was like, man, it's already been an hour in this thing, man. We having too much fun, but that's how it goes. That is definitely how it goes, man. Yeah, and y'all funny too. Talk when he's calling from the McDonald's bathroom. He collect calling, man. Y'all gotta chill, man. Y'all gotta chill. He said he down in Florida. Maybe he don't have good, service where he was located at. He was just enjoying life though. But shout out to him, man. All right, let me see who else we have in here in the super real quick. Oh, okay, Russell Schwartz. He gave me his top 5. He says Chase Claypool is the 5th person with the most to improve. Then after that, at number 4, he goes Deontay Johnson. At number 3, Devin Bush. Then at number 2, he went the offensive line as a whole. Good call right there. High expectations for them with the revamped version. So yeah, they're going to have to prove that they are good. Better players, more money allocated to that position group. Needs to turn into more productivity. So we will definitely see how that turns out. But then at number 1, he says the defense all around. And that's an interesting approach, but I get what you're putting down in the sense of we talk about the Steelers defense and we say that we think they're good and we think they can be elite. Well, with the additions that they've made, Levi Wallace, Miles Jack, potentially Stephon Tuitt returning, we have to see what we do at strong safety. But if you bring in Tyrann Mathieu, or even if you came back with the Troy Evans or whoever they go with at that strong safety position, yeah, we're going to be, expecting this group, the defense as a whole, to carry this team. We're not trying to win games scoring 30-plus points. Nah, we're going to be winning some ugly dog fights. But the way you do that is with elite defense, consistent defense, turnovers, and splash. And I think that we got the people for that. We're going to see how that thing plays out, man. But I like your thought process, Russell Schwartz. I definitely like it. All right, and then it looks like the last, or not the last, but we have a upper room member. Shout out to the new man in the building, Jay Hall. Jay Hall, welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let's go. Let's go. All right. And then let's see. Oh, a couple of the regular chats coming in here as well. We got Q. Puts his ranking for the top 5 players with the most to prove this season. Goes Devin Bush at number 5. At number 4, Alex Highsmith. Number 3, Chase Claypool. Then coming in at number 2, Chooks. He put the whole name. Chukwuma Okorafor. I like it. That's a long name to pronounce. I'm just call him Chooks, all right? And then at number 1, he has Mitch Trubisky as well. All righty. So, that was it for my Steelers talk. But real quick, I got to hop onto this UFC thing real quick because we do have UFC 273 tomorrow. And y'all know I love the fight game, baby. A couple of fights I want to talk about. The 2 title fights, man. The featherweight belt, Alexander Volkanovski versus the Korean Zombie, Chang Sung-jung. Now, it's an interesting fight right here, man, in the sense that, like I said, it's for the 145 belt. Volkan has been the champ for a little while now, man. He's on a 20-fight overall win streak, 10 consecutively in the UFC. Number 4 pound-for-pound fighter, number 1 featherweight, 23-1. I mean, this dude has kicked some serious butt. Last fight he just won, unanimous decision against my man Brian T. City Ortega. I definitely enjoyed it as well, man. It was cool too. Also, hearing him talk about feeling like he was getting choked out by T. City, man, because we know that's what T. City does. He gonna it's gonna get crazy. But the Korean Zombie, man, he's always game, right? Number 5, the 9th overall featherweight fighter, man, 17-6, and he just came off of a victory in his past fight as well. But for me, man, when I think of this matchup, I'm like, dude, For me, I've always felt a little animosity towards Alexander, solely because he beat my man Max Holloway not once but twice. And I kind of feel like Max won the second one. That's just me. Not everybody agrees. I get it. But to me, I thought the blessed one got it done, okay? So since then, I've always had a little just waiting on him to get knocked off. But dude, I don't see him losing to the Korean Zombie. Like, I love the Korean Zombie. I love him, number 1, because his name is tough. But we know the Korean Zombie, man, he's always game. He's a dude that's going to show up, and he is going to put on a performance. That's what he does. But to me, I just think this is one of those ones where Alexander is going to get it done. But I would not be surprised. I would not hate it if the Korean Zombie, if my man pulled it out. Because I think that he might have a chance. I think that he would, but I just don't know as a whole, man. I just don't know. And Alexander, every time I try to bet against him, he seems to break my heart. I even thought that my man Brian Ortega was going to get it done. I was like, yo, that's my man. He going to get it in the clutch. And it didn't happen. So for me, it's kind of hard to just go against him again. Because like I said, I'm stacking up the L's. Not just on him, but also in my pocket, man. So, I ain't really feeling that all the way. But we will see, man. We will definitely see. But the fight that I am absolutely most excited about, and this is without a debate, the rematch, the unification match for the UFC bantamweight title. We have the interim champ, aka the former bantam champ, Peter Yan, yes indeed, sitting at 16-2, versus the current UFC bantamweight champion, Aljamain Sterling, sitting at 20-3 for his record. Now listen, both of these guys, man, the storyline is crazy. I mean, number one, we think about Yan. He is a monster, dude, in the sense of the power that he has, the cardio, and how he ultimately just gets better as the fight goes on. Leading up to the Aljo fight, the first one, man, he was impressive in terms of how he had dominated the competition, and even to the point in the Aljo fight where you could see where, he was starting to pick it up, and it was starting to look like Aljo was getting in deep water. Now, it could have been because Aljo was just a little bit too excited in that first round, trying to fight at a pace that was a little bit too fast for him. That could have been the case. But as a whole, we know Jan's game. The longer the fight goes, the better he gets. And that was clear also in his most recent fight when he got the interim belt, where he beat Corey Sandhagen. And Corey is a really, really good fighter. I mean, Corey is one of those guys I hope doesn't turn into Cowboy, right? Donald Cerrone, in the sense of always game, always in the conversation, but when it's a title fight, he just can't get over the hump. Because we saw Aljo choke him out early. We saw Yan taking the distance, but it was unanimous. And to me, man, that's what Yan brings to the table. But at the same time, we're not going to forget about my man Aljo and what he's been able to do. He's on a 6-fight winning streak himself. Now, going back to Yan, before I transition to Aljo, let me get that on Yan real quick. Number 6 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, has won 11 of his last 12. The only loss he had was the DQ to Aljo. And yes, it was a DQ. Yes, it was a bad knee. And yes, Aljo was really, really hurt and concussed. I don't care what nobody says. My man Aljo's a man of integrity. So of course he was hurt. Of course. He didn't take the easy way out. He was hurt. His head hurt. All right, so I'm with that. But we know Yan is a bad dude, man. Yan don't get beat. Yan is a tough dude that as the fight goes on, he gets better. So that's the thing that I love about Piotr, or Peter, however you want to pronounce it, the real way or the American way. Y'all let me know. But Aljo, he's the guy that has gotten a bad rap because of the situation, right? And I think because of that, people have forgotten how good he is. Prior to the Yan fight, I mean, he was on a 5-fight winning streak. It's a 6-fight winning streak now because of the win in the disqualification. But Aljo, man, the dude can fight off his back. We know he's very unorthodox in how he sets up his attacks from an offensive standpoint. His wrestling is top tier. To me, I am concerned with him, though, in the sense of, last fight, I think he did come out and was a little bit too juiced up, man. And that did cause him to get a little tired. We know he's had a longer layoff because he had neck surgery. That was the reason why Yan had to fight Corey Sandhagen in the first place for the interim belt. But seeing the emotion that Aljo had when he made weight today, man, he's crying. I mean, this is a big deal because he talked about it was a time where they didn't think he would be able to return because of the neck surgery. But to me, if Aljo's cardio can match Jan's cardio, I do like Aljo a lot. I think, man, how dynamic he was, especially in that first fight. You watched that first round, man, Aljo was doing some good things. The way that he was, flowing, keeping Yan off balance and stuff like that, man, he looked good. People just forget that because of how it ended with the knee to the head and him, laying down there. We're like, is he really hurt or are you faking? And then he's like, oh, I don't care about the belt. But then he's, walking around like he's the champ. I get it. But that to me is the interesting part, man, because I do think if he can have that cardio where it needs to be, I like him as the upset. And it's crazy to say it's the upset because he is the bantamweight champ. He's not the interim champ. He's the real champ. But I do feel like because Jan is the heavy favorite in this, Jan, even from public eye standpoint or fan standpoint, we just view him as such a, just overwhelming beast compared to Aljo because of how that fight ended, that we don't really give Aljo a chance. But I do think that my man Aljo, he's gonna surprise some people, man. Or at least I hope he does. Because I know in that first fight, I happened to lose a little paper on him. But I'm doubling down, all right? Come on, baby. Come on, Aljo. Don't you let me down, all right? Don't you let me down. But we are definitely going to see how that thing plays out, man. Let me see what who y'all think, though, gets it done in this fight, man. Let's see what the people are saying, man. Oh, and don't forget, I ain't forget about my man Tank Davis, Javante Davis. You gonna get it, man. The reason I ain't want to talk about Tank, because I know he finna knock that dude out, man. Tank punched too hard for all them little dudes over there, okay? And until they give him some real meat, man, I just don't really see, him being tested like that. Even when, the question was his cardio, he still gets it done. He's a big puncher. Showed right in his last fight, right? Man, it took Mayweather saying, hey, man, dude, I think you're down on the card. What do you do? Go out there and knock him out. That's what he does, man. And I think that's going to continue to happen. But get back to this UFC, though. See what the people are saying, man. All right, Stan Clare, he says, Piotr Jan is pissed and no corner, no matter. He thinks he's still going to get it done. Nah, I agree. I definitely feel like he's going to be pissed, man. Barilla92 said Jan is going to kill him. Look, part of me agrees with you on that, but the other part says if he comes out with too much emotion, if he comes out trying to prove too much because he's so angry, so ready to show that, oh man, you faked this injury, man, I'm really going to get you this time, that could cost him. Because Aljo is very slippery. Aljo is very slick. He likes to get on the backpack in terms of climbing on, the opponent's back, getting that choke on. You know what I mean? He's definitely capable of doing that. So that part's definitely going to be interesting, man. All right, but Stan Clare also says 2 championships fight and the Hamzat fight. Yeah. For those that don't know, you got Gilbert Burns versus Hamzat Chimaev at the 170 pound weight class. Now, Chimaev, man, he's been talked about a lot, man. He is one of those up and coming prospects that people are loving. I'm a fan as well. And we know Gilbert Burns is game. We know he's been in some title fights. Now he hasn't had the most success for various reasons, but we know he's still a good fighter when he's fully committed mentally and physically. That one's going to be an underrated fight. That's definitely one I'm excited about as well, though, man. Without a doubt. But let's see. Oh, Steelers, baby. Says Jan's getting the win. Nobody's feeling Aljo. Nobody giving Aljo a chance. Come on, man. Don't y'all fall asleep on Aljo, man. Listen, I know Jan. Jan is tough. Jan is definitely tough, and he's pissed off. But come on, man. Let's get it done, man. Oh, and Jordan says he doesn't think, or they don't think that Sterling has a chance at all. Whew. All right. Okay. Let's get it. All right. And then Stan Clare also says, let's see if I got any more coming in about the fight before, I proceed to research some more and enjoy my weekend as well, player. But let's see. All right. Oh, here we go. Stan Clare, I'm back to you now. He says Jan is a beast. He just starts hard and picks it up round by round. I feel sorry for Sterling. Yes, Stan, that is definitely an accurate depiction of what my man does in these fights, man. He just does not get tired. I mean, his cardio is insane. And for him to be able to fight at that type of pace, that hard, 4 or 5 rounds like he's always been doing or accustomed to doing, no, without a doubt, man. It's definitely going to be a tough fight for him, man. He's in an uphill battle, but we shall see. We shall definitely see. Hey, and Chris B, you funny too, man. He says space talk, not gonna lie. Thought Moats was gonna come on the pod with a big spliff in his mouth. Now listen, I've thought about it. I just haven't done enough research, the other research on YouTube to see what is allowed and what is frowned upon, all right? But if I did know that, oh, trust me, man, it wouldn't be a debate. It would be in here. It would turn into the Wiz Khalifa Snoop Dogg show in here, baby. But we don't have that information just yet. So we're gonna play it safe today, all right? But we did have another super that came in real quick, and it's from Jamel Wilson. Excuse me on that. It says, turned 23 today. Started watching the show freshman year after having to give up football. Now a senior at Virginia Tech. Thanks for getting me through school. Man, salute you, baby. Salute you, man. First off, happy birthday, too, man. You on that Jordan year? It's going to be a great year. Or you on that Brian year, depending on who we talking to. But either way, man, that's awesome as heck, man. Definitely hope you enjoy your birthday. But man, freshman year to now here you are, senior. Man, I feel like a proud pops over here, man. Keep it going, baby. Keep it going. Hey, man, when it's graduation time, man, I'm going to have to hit you up, man. Send you something for you, to celebrate your, accomplishments and everything like that, man. But from the heart, man, it really means a lot, man, that you've been rocking with the podcast, the channel for this long, man. So definitely keep it going, man. Absolutely. All right. Oh, and Nick Y just said put that money in the bank. Sterling, in terms of Aljamain Sterling is back. All right. I'm liking it. We gonna see, man. I'm hoping. I really hope that he is back. I do, but we gonna see, man, because we know how that first fight went, and it did like he was starting to gas out a little bit. But hopefully, we don't get that from him. All right. But that being said, man, this is what the space talks are gonna be like, man. We're gonna pick, going forward. And like I said, I haven't figured out the schedule of when we're going to do it, how often I'm going to do space talks. But when we do them, I typically like to have, one Steelers topic, and I'm going to have something else that we're going to talk about. And, we might have to open this time slot up a little bit more. I thought, an hour to 30 minutes would be enough, but it looks like we got a lot more that we can talk about anywho. So we'll see how we feel about this going forward. But, man, if y'all enjoyed it, man, appreciate y'all, And if y'all enjoyed it, man, we have to keep it going some other days, all right? Phone lines included. But either way, I appreciate each and every one of y'all tuning in today, man, rocking with me, on this Space Talk. And as you know, the podcast will be back full effect on Monday. So, anywho, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. And until next time, baby, peace.